Oh my God, Steve Broyles. He must have been sitting on the button tonight. Lisa Ballard, the queen of chop, called in right behind him. But Poppy, first across the line tonight. Congratulations. Hell yeah, brother. That's gonna be the theme of tonight's show. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
Can I get an amen?
Hey man, it's so good that we made it to Sunday. Everyone lived through the weekend. We're getting ready for the big downer of Monday, but not to fear. We have another 60, 90, 120 minutes to talk about motorcycles, all the good times we've had this weekend. David Crum checking in. Greg White in from Texas. Tim Stahl's here with us. Good to see all you guys. Steve Henderson. Hey, what's up? Hey now. Good to see all you guys. The parking lot's filling up, and we're going live with this week's installment of Shop Talk in just 3.5 minutes. That's enough time for you to get a drink, kick back, and relax. Get ready to go live with Shop Talk. Stick around. Mark, did you know that it's Greg White's birthday?
Oh my God, Gus. A year older.
It doesn't matter.
Gus.
It's Shop Talk. We're not talking birthday shit here. Tim Stahl, can't wait for Smokeout. Yeah, boy. That's what we're talking about tonight. Two of the Legacy Invitational builders on with us, Mr. Roadside Marty and Mr. Dan Starkey. You guys don't want to miss this one, but boy, I'll tell you, Smokeout is shaping up to be a hell of a time. If you don't know about it, smokeoutrally.com. Go check it out. Get an education real quick. You got 2.5 minutes. Chase number 22. I know that guy. Gary Raphael in the house. Good to see you tonight, brother. Missy Shoemaker. You better be ready for this. We're gonna go around the world, up to Sturgis, down to North Carolina. It's gonna be nuts. Mickey Young in the house from Mass. From where, Mass? Nick Hildebrittle in the house. Heather. Where is where, Mass? Where? Where's Heather? She's not talking.
Usually you don't have my mic on.
Well, I have it on right now because I'm asking you a question.
Well, I didn't. Whatever.
Where is Ware, Mass?
Where is Ware, Mass? If I remember, it's down by the Cape, sort of, kind of.
Nick Hildebrittle calling me on my bullshit. Chris, have you sent me the signed kickstand yet? No, but I have it here for you, man. That's funny. Back when we were doing the teardown on the Dennis Kirk bike, that's going to be given away in Sturgis. I was getting rid of parts, and I was like, whoever wants this shit, I'll just send it to you. And Nick called me out on that and said, hey, I'll take it, sign it for me, and put it in the mail. We're 1 minute out, man. Hey, we want to ask you to do us a favor. Every Sunday we go live with another episode, 90 to 120 minutes of news, information, entertainment, all from the two-wheeled world. The only thing we ask you is give us a minute to catch our breath. Give us a like and follow. Make sure you share what we're doing so the rest of the motorcycle world knows when we're going live with another installment of America's favorite. I don't know what the hell's going on in the studio tonight. 38 seconds. America's favorite two-wheeled talk show, Shop Talk. All right, I guess we're getting close enough. It's time to get this one off of the track. Now, see, I've totally lost it.
Wow.
Mark, you do the intro.
Who
That's
the
it.
fuck invited him?
Wow.
Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It's just after 9 p.m. I'm Chris from Cycle Source Magazine. Welcome to Shop Talk, 50 floors below the street level here in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Up next, 90 to 120 minutes of me not coughing from the grounds in my coffee. No shit, that's what it was, man. Like I got to the bottom of the cup and I got all the grounds from the last of the pot.
Oh my God, your cup is empty? You have no coffee?
My cup is empty.
Are you going to make it? Are you going to survive the program?
I just took all the pens and stuff away from him so he doesn't stab you in the leg.
I was going to stab you in the leg. So Mickey Young says, right off of exit 8 on the Massachusetts Pike.
Well, now we
Nancy
know.
Weems is accusing you of choking me, Heather. And
which is very possible.
Nancy, that's why I'm upstairs and he's downstairs.
Troy Farron says AMCA Iron Horse this year. Yes, absolutely. We have the Vintage Day. We have a whole schedule of events. You can check out our social media for that. We're going to be playing some of them tonight. But there's Sturgis, man. There's 2 or 3 things every day.
Stop reminding me.
Which brings up I got a lot of comments on my editorial this month. If you guys aren't aware, in addition to this show every week, we do a print magazine on the national newsstand for the last 25 years. And I got a lot of comments about my editorial this month. Mark, I would ask you about that, but you don't read the magazine.
I didn't even know you still did that magazine. So I know.
Mark, sometimes he forgets too. I'd be like, hey, you know that thing that we do? Oh. It's time to do that again.
Damn.
Come on now.
I do remember all 281 uses of the Cycle Source magazine.
Right?
Yeah.
We did that thing
What's
for
number 153?
Paper plate.
Look, he was on it, man. Bang. I can't remember what number it was when we finally went to a glossy cover.
205.
Seal.
205 was glossy cover.
Does anybody?
I wanted to know what use number 205 was.
Seal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rapper. Not Seal, the rapper.
No, yeah.
A rapper.
I mean,
we
you
also
know what
call
I'm
it
saying.
Seal.
Oh, good Lord.
The magazine was killer this printing. Thank you, Nick.
Does that mean it sucks on the other ones?
Right.
I'm
so
just
listen, I'm
curious.
getting to the point that I wrote an editorial that I thought was quite inflammatory. And actually, a few times I went back and I rewrote it because Heather said that it was a little too sharp.
Well, wait a minute. Let's be honest. You had to write 2 editorials because the first one I wasn't letting you print.
Yeah, it was. I got in a foul mood, but a lot of the shit that's going on today, man. Like next month's editorial, I already started working on, and it says even pirates had a code, and it's no shit because
I can't wait.
There are so many different organizations and different people, and like everybody's trying to ram
Can I
so
answer
much.
that on air?
Yes.
No.
Yes, you can.
No, because then everybody's going to start calling.
Oh, come
I know
on.
it'd be so funny.
There's so many people trying to do events over top of each other and everything in Sturgis. It's just going to be really hectic, and I hope that Professional Monkey. I love him.
Oh.
Professional Monkey says those things you said about my mother were not necessary. Anyway, we'll talk about all that shit later. Lots of stuff coming up in the news tonight. And we have our first 2 guests, Mr. Roadside Marty and Dan Starkey, on hold with us. We're going to take 2 seconds real quick and look at a product. When we come back on the other side, we're going to go straight to those 2. So don't go anywhere. Let's see what we got on the shelf. The product spotlight is brought to you by Drag Specialties, the world's largest distributor of aftermarket accessories. Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, and this is your product spotlight. Today's spotlight, we're going to take a look at the TED Cycle Solo Seat Spring Mounting Kit. Now, a lot of guys will know on a rigid motorcycle, these springs can be some of your only suspension. So even on bikes that are running super short and tight shocks, you can get away with a little more of a comfortable ride by having this kit. This kit is specifically designed for use on a rigid application. Gives you everything here from the nose mount to the spring stand, the springs, the mounting hardware, and the seat tee is in there. Check them out today at DennisKirk.com. Tell them the guys from Grease and Gears Garage sent you.
They spend their mornings drinking coffee, trying to figure out who took each other's hair ties.
So there's just a quick sneak
I'm
peek
so
for you
excited.
guys. Dude, we got to give a shout out to Twyla, who's been working with us on the videos, because she's killing it with
Oh
those
my
promos.
gosh, yeah, we wouldn't have had any of those videos done if it weren't for her. She's awesome.
Absolutely killing it. And just a reminder of some of the fun that we had last year in Sturgis, and hope to see all you guys there. Hey, so coming up here in our interview segment, Roadside Marty, I think there's a couple things that you can't think about in the motorcycle universe without this man's name coming up. Getting like the steal of a lifetime, no matter if it's parts or whole motorcycles, nobody scrounges old Harley shit like this cat. First
Oh, it's
of all,
his southern charm. He charms it right out of people. It's ridiculous.
Well, he gets that shit
forget,
honestly too.
Nobody,
Oh my God.
nobody riles a crowd up like him. He's the only MC on the planet that can pretty much piss the whole crowd off, and they love him.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep. So I'm obviously talking about my boy Roadside Marty, and we have the pleasure of having him on the show with us tonight. So let's go to the lines and check out Roadside.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Mr. Roadside Marty, in the flesh.
Man, it's good to hear your voice, brother.
You too. And that big Florida sign. I've been in that garage, and I want to be sitting there with you right now.
You have garage envy.
I do.
I actually have garage envy.
Hey, I come out here and sit in this very chair and just spin around like a booger-eating moron and just tell myself over and over, all this shit is mine.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you're like, where the hell did I get all this shit?
And then his dad.
That's another one.
Then his dad comes in and reminds him where half of it belongs.
Yeah, right.
I love
Oh, yeah.
Roadside. Now, you know I love you, and I'm a big fan of yours, but your daddy, I love your daddy.
Oh, Heather, trust me.
Apparently,
That
all the
doesn't
women
hurt
do,
my
because you
feelings.
never see
that
him
is-
without a woman
everyone-
at his
yeah.
side.
Everyone tells me that. Hey, you're all right, but your dad's the best.
Yeah.
That's what I hear all the time.
Oh,
Right
he's
on.
something else. I love his stories. I can sit and talk to him all day.
Yep. And that's a real pleasure.
Can I tell that quick story
Yes.
about what he said when he first met you,
Yep.
Heather?
Absolutely. I think I know
everyone.
the story. I don't know.
My father, the first time he met Heather, she walked up and gave him a hug, introduced herself, and just chatted away. And when she walked away, my dad looked at me and he said, "That good-looking blonde, that's Chris's wife?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he just shook his head and he said, "Boy, he better not buy her a set of tits. She's going to leave his ugly ass."
Look at her blush. But you know what? That's been one of the real treats for all of us. Is a few years back you started making sure that he was coming with you to Willie's all the time, and like he's now him sitting on that bench outside of Willie's, and all of us getting time with him and getting to hear stories and talk with him. It's been a real treat for all of us.
Willie is the mayor of Daytona, and my dad is the deputy mayor. That's what we say.
Oh, that's funny. He's a good old
Oh
guy.
yeah, he makes it known that I'm not allowed to go to Daytona without him, because him and Willie are like thick as thieves.
Yeah.
And we went to the AMCA barbecue at Rocky Halter's place, and I know now that I'm always going to be a second-class citizen, because as soon as we walked up, I went to shake Rocky's hand, and he shoved me out of the way and gave my dad a hug.
So we're another event that you're notorious for is the smokeout. We're truly honored that have been vested with the next iteration of smokeout and taking the reins on it for a little while here, but it's through help of all of you guys. Like, I'm going to say that right off the bat, man. I started calling all of my buddies who've been part of smokeout forever, and we started.
That's originally where me and you met, brother.
It is, right?
Yes, it is.
And when you think about, I mean, that's where so many of us got to know each other. That's where so many of us, even got to know,
cut our teeth,
know ourselves, know what we were doing, understand like how cool this whole movement was.
It was actually the last year at Salisbury, in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn, on the Sunday morning that you were heading out. I walked up to you and introduced myself because I recognized you. And I hadn't seen you all weekend. I'd heard you were there, but I didn't see you all weekend. And I just by chance got to see you then, and I made my introduction to you, and we've been tight ever since.
Isn't that funny that, when you compare Salisbury, because the way Salisbury, the Rowan County Fairgrounds, used to be set up, it was considerably smaller than the event venue at Rockingham. And, since then, like, we've been telling people, like, they cleared out, another 5 or 6 acres for camping, and like they've really done a lot with the property. But when you think about, people talk about that event venue being small, and you could literally be there for an entire weekend and hear that somebody was there and never run into them, because there was just so much shit going on. And whether it was on the property of the county fairgrounds or down the street at the Holiday Inn or at any of the other hotels, like it was really a lot of stuff.
Well, and plus too, man, it was kind of hard to explain, but they really welcomed you in that town.
Yeah.
And I mean that. I mean, of course, you had some locals that didn't want you there, but I mean, man, as far as the police go, I saw them turn their cheek and turn a blind eye to stuff that you'd go to jail for.
Oh.
I mean, it was unreal. I remember once a young kid was doing a burnout in the hotel, in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn, and Big Ben had his rig out there, and everybody was barbecuing it. Man, there must have been 150 people out in that parking lot, and this kid's doing this burnout, and smoke you couldn't even see in front of your face, and through that smoke you saw cop lights, right? You saw the bubble gums, blueberries and cherries, and this young cop, he had to be under 25. I mean, he was young, weighed about 110 pounds. He gets out of that cop car, walks over, leans in that window, says something to the guy, and then the guy he was already handing his license out the window, and the cop said something, and he just ducked back in and took off, and everybody starts cheering, and the cop gets back in his cruiser, and he gets on his loudspeaker, and he said, "Y'all some bitches are crazy if y'all thought I was going to give him a ticket." And everybody starts yelling burnout, and the cop does a burnout in the cop.
No.
Cool.
It was classic. And then one more quick one. A guy, one year, for some reason, I ended up staying up at the Best Western right up the street, walking distance. And I'll never forget, me and Ian Stout, Bacon, Dan Carr, Mike Newton, And God, I think Bill and Tommy Cullinan, they were there, and we were sitting out front, and a cop was sitting in his car at the edge of the parking lot, or right near the parking lot, and some people came walking down from the campground that was right above the Best Western there, and two guys and a girl, and they said, "Hey, where's the Holiday Inn at?" And we said, "Oh, it's right down the street. You could walk to it." And without skipping a beat, that cop just looks up from the squad car and says, "If she shows me your tits, I'll give you all a ride down there." Dude, swear to God, you can't make that shit up. That was good times in Salisbury. I'm glad it's going back.
Well, and you know that.
Nothing against Rockingham. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed there too, but Salisbury is.
Yeah, the hotels, I think, really made a big difference too. You know, being able to leave the venue, go back to those hotels, it was almost like you look forward more to being in the hotel parking lot somewhat than you did the,
Oh, yeah,
the
we used
actual
to.
venue.
Yeah,
That was a whole second event.
Oh, yeah,
it really was.
crazy.
Yeah.
So this is one of the greatest things, because having the opportunity to have one of your bikes on display in the Legends Gallery, and you know, to refresh everybody's memories here, that if you don't know what we're talking about, or we haven't talked about it enough, we're doing a thing to help usher in the original Smokeout, going back to Salisbury. You know, this is going to be it's the beginning of the third decade. We've come up with this thing called the Legends and Legacies. And what we've done is gone to a bunch of the original guys from Smokeout. Well, you know, who we're talking about here tonight, the very beginnings of guys like Jeff Cochran and Roadside Marty and Donnie Luce and Billy Lane and all the OGs. And we've asked those guys to come put a bike on display there and name a legacy. So we asked the same thing of Roadside, and Roadside picked Dan Starkey. And I want to ask you about that. Like, of all the cats that you know, because being the MC of Willie's, you meet a million young builders a year. What makes you focus in on Dan for this?
Well, it's a combination of several things. Number one, of course, I mean, he's got a really good eye for a traditional style chop. And I mean, that's always been my favorite kind of style of motorcycle. And on top of that, he's just a great guy. I mean, very humble, very down to earth. I mean, you know, he doesn't have an ego or an attitude. He just wants to have a good time. He understands the history behind things, and he's just a hell of a good guy. And I mean, there were a couple other guys that I thought of, but I thought to myself, you know, Dan is probably the one guy that would probably not even think for 1 second I would pick him. So I did. And I think he's going to be a great legacy builder, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings. I mean, every time I see something, he's one of those guys that anytime I know there's a major event coming up, Bike Week, Surges, whatever, I know he's going to come with something cool.
So this is why I was starting to say that this is an exciting thing too, because I've watched for years and years. I've watched you as a bike builder, like me. You're a passionate guy. You come home at the end of the day from what you're doing for your day gig, and you go out in the garage and you're building motorcycles. You're squirreling away parts because you love it and you can't leave shit alone. But largely, I don't think, you know, the Smokeout was kind of the beginning of that whole garage builder and custom culture thing that went on. Yeah. But I think
it really fostered that.
Right. And I think largely, you know, for a long time, people have kind of overlooked a lot of the things that you've built, you know, and you've really, I don't know, how many motorcycles do you have to your credit as far as bikes that you've built over the years now?
Oh man, somebody was asking me that not too long ago. I think it's close to 60.
Wow.
60 from the ground up. And that's helping people, me doing my own personal stuff. So yeah, I think it's on the low side of 60. I mean, looking back, I really wish I would have taken more pictures, and I wish I would have kind of kept better track of things. Because some of the stuff, you know, some of the best memories I have were from building some of those bikes. The people, I mean, I say all the time, I love motorcycles and motorcycle people, and it's the truth. I mean, motorcycles have given me way more than they've ever taken. I mean, so it's,
dude, this picture right here, I got to stop you just for a second. So in this one picture, there's Mark over by the Christmas tree, Billy from Twisted Tea, Mailman bent down in the middle, and you, all of us just raising hell. Like, can you believe the shit that they let us do in Sturgis?
You're not kidding.
oh my God, man.
Dude, that night was fun. Billy, I don't know how he doesn't just literally blow those bikes up in those things. He just
oh my
goes
God,
nuts.
man. And he'll do it on a fresh motor too.
Oh yes, he will. He doesn't care.
And he'll look at you when you say, "Hey, don't do that," and he's like, "Why not?" Yeah, this thing ain't even got 100 miles on it, bro.
It's great.
Yeah, that's and the other thing, like the bike building, and you know, your bikes are super iconic. I mean, everyone's so like clean and you know, there you have like a flow to it. But dude, for me, screw the bikes. Your MC, your presence, your just what you bring to the table with. You know, dude, there's not one stone unturned. Don't do something wrong, because this son of a bitch is going to throw it in your face and make you laugh about it, you know? It's so great. Your MC style is just killer. It's perfect for what we do. You know what I mean?
Dude, and especially like behind the counter at Willie's.
Oh, God.
Like those performances, someday there's going to be young guys writing books about the cat that worked the microphone at Willie's.
Yeah, if you don't want to be picked on,
did.
don't walk by him. So whatever you do.
Hey, I heard somebody say, I think it was, man, you know, I grew up watching, now you won't see it, but I mean, I grew up like you and Chris did, watching some really great comedians of, you know, our youth.
Right.
You know, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison. I mean, those guys, I mean,
They were brutal.
they would say things, but they would say them with a tinge of honesty. And I believe it was Richard Pryor who said, it's not, God, I hope I don't fuck this up. It's not wrong if you're telling the truth. And he also said, or Sam Kinison said, hey, I say what everybody else wishes they could say.
Right. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Hey, don't you wish that you could go back today? Like speaking of the brilliance behind some of the things that comedians of our time have said, don't you wish you could go back today and heed the words of George Carlin a little better?
Yes.
Oh man,
Because my man
he was brilliant.
Yeah, and it's hard to say that because
way
he was
ahead of his time.
right.
If you go back and read some of his stuff, it's spot on
Yeah.
to what
It's
is going
scary,
on
dude.
right now.
It's scary.
Crazy.
He was the
yeah.
he was the Nostradamus of our age.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. I mean, some of the things he spoke about, like Heather was saying, 35, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he was right on the money with that stuff.
Yep.
And it's actually coming true. It's crazy, but, you know, I mean, there at Willie's, now, don't get me wrong, there's been times people have taken it personal, you know, but hey, I make fun of myself just as much as I make fun of them.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, hey, if some chick walks by with a nice set of tits, hey, honey, don't get mad at me. Get mad at your surgeon for doing a great job. Hey, I hope you send that guy a Christmas card and a birthday card every year, because he damn sure got me to notice.
He's doing something
Oh,
right.
good Lord. So how long have you known Dan? And do you know if this is Dan's first smoke out?
I'm trying to think. Let's see. I've known Dan, I believe he approached me and informally introduced himself at one of Bill Dodge's industry parties in Daytona. And I'll never forget, he was standing off to the side, and I was I caught a glimpse of him, and I'm like, okay, is he waiting to talk to me? And I didn't know if he was going to say, hey man, you insulted me or something, but he waited till I was done talking, and he politely walked up and introduced himself. And it really struck me because he mentioned things, bikes I'd built, things I'd done, and I was just like, wow, man, hey, thanks. Thank you.
He was a stalker. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. All of a sudden, Marty's counting back like, okay, how old is he? Is this possible? Did I know your mama?
Yeah,
oh man, dude.
Please don't call me Dad.
Hey, that's a whole nother can of worms right there.
I think, and it's like, we back and forth. I think we need him in on this because he fits in just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
It's like that rant, and he's going to answer the question because I think you might be lying to us a little bit. So there has to be.
I got you.
So Dan, now, is it true that you came up to Roadside at Bill's party and you were real nice to him, or were you stalking him?
No, his story's correct.
Damn it!
I was reading the magazines and stuff a long time before I even owned a bike. So, he was in the horse a lot. I remember the first time, I think he was building a flathead for a build off for the smoke out. And that was my introduction to Roadside Marty.
I got to give you credit because let me tell you, there's a few people that are intimidating to walk up to and just introduce yourself to. Roadside may be one of them. So,
nah, always been a cool guy.
Talking about that flathead.
So Dan,
I've seen, go ahead, Heather.
No, I'm sorry. How many bikes have you built? Because you said you were reading the magazines before you had a bike.
Yeah, I've built, I believe, like not 60, maybe 6. But I grew up, I didn't have a dirt bike or a moped or anything, right when I was out of school and able to go buy a bike, I did.
Nice. So
Wow.
you didn't come up in motorcycling. You found it along your
Not at all.
journey.
Yeah, just I had to have one, friends started getting them. And it was just the aesthetics thing of it, I didn't even know about, obviously I didn't know about the riding aspect. I just thought they were beautiful. I always loved, old cars, and bikes just go hand in hand with that.
And what was your first bike?
75 Shovelhead, this blue, the motor's still in this blue one right here.
Nice.
Very nice. That's not a typical starter bike for a lot of people.
Well, I mean, I'm too big for a Sportster, and Shovelheads back then, I mean, they were cheap, that's all I could afford, really.
Well, and man, when Roadside was talking about you in the introduction, he was talking about the reason he picked you was because your humility and, the personality that you carry around with you. I remember sitting and watching you with that motorcycle, and it was parked next to Blue, and the fact that like your inspiration and everything that you've watched and done the whole way through, and seeing that motorcycle sitting there and knowing that you were in that moment, you were visibly overcome with that. It's such a genuine quality to see in somebody that is driven by the same thing as a lot of us.
It's that was a wild time when this bike was parked next to Billy's Blue. That'll be my favorite chopper of all time.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Timeless. If I could have any bike, that'd be it. And I I couldn't afford to pay Warner Billy to build a bike for me. So, that's this bike so heavily. It's all about Choppers Inc., on this bike. And Warren and Billy both knew like what I was doing. I'd met them by this time.
Yeah.
And they were down and what, before it was in a magazine or anything like that, I got their approval. And I mean, it was a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have whenever you're coming in building a bike like that, to be able to, not only meet those people, but also be able to follow some of their lead and build them. And you build a killer bike. So
that was the thing. Like right off the bat, man, we saw the bike and knew that we wanted to get pictures of the bike, and we were moved by it because it was everything that we had come up on too. But then getting to know you, getting to experience your personality and know who you are. Like that was the rest of it.
That's appreciate the kind words. I was taught, you respect people and you be kind. If you can help somebody out, you do it. And thank God, the motorcycles, I love them, but it's the people, you and Heather, Marty, of course, Mark's cool. It's all about people for me. And I've been able to have form some really good friendships out of it. I'm a lucky dude.
So let's talk about Smokeout for a minute. But before all of this starts to happen for you, what was your exposure to Smokeout?
Magazines. I've never been. I used to work in television, and I worked for a small company. There's like 4 of us. We were always crisscrossing the country covering big events for ESPN or Speed Channel back in the day, and you couldn't miss them. There was no vacation taking time. If there was an actual work situation. So, and by the time I switched careers and stuff, the Smokeout was gone. So, I was already planning on going, and then when I got the phone call from Roadside a couple months ago, it just sealed the deal.
Now, what was your initial reaction when he explained to you what we were doing and what his invitation meant?
But, it's one of those things you don't say no to. I think the world of Marty. So, he called me up and he said, "Hey, I got a question for you. I need an answer right now." And I was like, "Oh, fuck, what'd I do?"
The pressure's on.
And I was like, sat down when I put down the stuff that was in my hands while I was doing out here in the garage. Then he told me, and it was just, I was taken back. It was quite the honor. So, like I said, I'm a lucky guy.
That's pretty. Now, are you building something new, or are you bringing something in your stable?
I'm bringing something that I finished back in February, right before the cycle showcase. I did a painted head.
I love that motorcycle.
Yeah, buddy.
Love that motorcycle.
And people keep asking, "Are you building something now?" Or it's like, no, it's summertime. I want to ride them. I don't want to be stuck in my garage right now.
And that bike
I've got a frame
dope.
sitting behind me, and I've been working on making a gas tank for it here recently. But once it starts getting a little colder, I'll be in here with tools in my hands. But right now, I just want to be riding.
See,
People
Chris,
forget how much it costs to build these damn things.
Yeah.
Right?
right?
What do you build now? What do you build now? My
This-
bank account.
Yeah, right.
Dumb.
Exactly.
This
Well,
is
that's how Flat Broke originally got its name.
Yeah,
if you're
right.
not flat broke when you start building it, you will be when you're done.
So, dude, you gotta
That's a fact.
talk about that for a minute, because that's something a lot of people don't know. That me and you and Mark have been running around since we all were still kids.
Yeah.
And where all that came from was just a group of guys that just dug this shit.
Yeah. Before there was all this gray.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, anybody that's building a bike or a hot rod or something like that, somewhere along the line, you ask them, "Hey, how's it going?" "Well, I don't know. I don't have a dime left. I'm flat broke."
That's it.
Yeah. And it just,
I'm
I'll tell
flat
you,
broke,
it
man.
fits the 3 of us like a freaking gem.
Oh my God! Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, to me, and it ties into the Smokeout, the history of the Smokeout, like Chris was talking earlier about the horse originally. Guys that would work a day job, having a family or whatnot, they come home, they do their regular thing, and then they come, and the motorcycle gets whatever attention they can give it. And yet they still build something cool. And that kind of ties in with Chopper Time too at Willie's, because I've had so many people, and you have too, Chris, you've been standing with me when it's happened. Guys come up and they say, "Hey, I built a bike just for this show. All year I spent building this bike just so I could bring it to this show." And man, how do you react to that? That's so humbling, because you're like, well, man, you put all this time and money building this bike and getting here from wherever they're from, Oklahoma or Texas or up north, and yet you still want to be you still want to be a part of it. And man, that just blows me away every single time.
Yeah, this is a real honor for us, man. I want to tell you both, like having motorcycles from both of you in this show, the people that you are, what it means to a lot of the stuff that I was talking about in the beginning of the show about, the editorial I'm working on, the fact that Pirates even had a code, and it's guys like you that keep this thing grounded and keep it on the right track. So we really, really appreciate both you being part of this.
I'm excited, man. And I'm proud of you, Dan.
Hey, it's an honor.
You've come a long way, brother.
We're going to have some fun.
So do me a favor, tell everybody where they can keep up with you guys. I mean, obviously, if they go to Smokeout Rally, like I was just showing some of the bio pictures that we have up on there for both of you, but where else can they keep up with Roadside Marty and Dan Starkey and the stuff that you're getting into?
Instagram.
Go ahead, Dan.
I basically just have an Instagram at Dan Starkey. Nothing fancy, it's just I'm just a passionate guy when it comes to motorcycles, and I usually don't post any like progress pics. I like to show up at a show with something fresh, but yeah, you'll see some of my stuff there.
Yes, sir. Roadside Marty, you also on Instagram showing off that slab
Marty
side
on
shovel.
Instagram. Yep. Unlike Dan, sometimes I get excited and I show progress pics, and sometimes, I've never been one to keep a secret and just show up with something like that. So I applaud you for that, Dan. I got to show people, because so many people are asking, well, hey, what are you doing with that 69 motor? I saw it's not in a bike. You want to sell it? No, I'm going to do something with it. So you kind of have to keep the wolves at bay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
And we definitely want to give a shout out to this young man right here, who's for a lot of us. I mean,
oh man, my hero.
Yep. You want to spend a day this last Daytona? I got to walk around with Roadside and his father right there, Mr. Shelton Davis, at the swap meet, and boy, just walking around with a man that has as much knowledge as he does, we would pick up a part and he'd start telling stories about stuff that he had, where that part came from, what was wrong with it, how they made it better. That was one of the best afternoons I've had in Daytona a long time.
Or how he caught Marty trying to take it out of his shop.
I'm going to tell you guys, that was one of his most favorite memories of this past bike week.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed all four of us walking around, even with the rain, and as tired as he got walking all that way, he had an absolute blast. Every time, if we got separated, you'd stop to look at something or whatnot, he would always stop and look around and say, where's Chris? Where's Heather? Where are they? And he really enjoyed you guys doing that with us.
Yeah, he's a good old guy.
Yes, sir.
And it was like a chopper time afterwards. It was after the show, and Roadside, made the introduction to me with his dad. And I was like, okay, bye, Roadside. I'm going to sit here and talk to this guy for a while.
Yes, he did.
We sat on that bench for over an hour. Then we walked over here. I mean, I need about a month down in Pensacola in that area, and soak up time with that guy. He's a gem.
Yeah, Marty, you're super lucky. Your dad is such a wealth of knowledge. To be that lucky to be able to pick up the phone and call him or have him come down and walk you through something, that's special. I mean, me and my old man were real close, but to have that's freaking on top of the list.
It is truly something magical, brother. And I got to say, though, my father grew up on a tobacco farm in North Carolina. He's originally from North Carolina. And he tried to instill in me, and I'm pretty hard-headed, so it took a lot, but he would always try to make me figure it out on my own first.
Yeah.
And then if I couldn't, then he would step in and help me.
Yeah.
But man, I swear he's almost like a magician. He just walks over and just waves his hand over it,
right.
And it's fixed. And I've been fighting with it for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's my old man always said, you learn your best lessons from your biggest mistakes, and he was
That's
the same
a good
way.
quote right there.
Yeah, and
I like that.
Super true. I mean, he always let us mess it up and then struggle to fix it, and he'd come over, explain to us how to fix it. And, just like you, he taught me Although my dad wasn't big on the motorcycles, you know, and the mechanical, but everything else, you know. So it's so great to your passion is also your father's passion. I'm a bit jealous of that. So
your dad didn't get to his age without learning a lot of stuff,
Right.
and I know he taught you
oh yeah.
a lifetime's worth.
Dude, he
of
taught all of
experience.
us.
Yeah.
Taught all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
There was that one time at Giuseppe's roadside, you know, I was like, how's the nut running? And you're like, oh, it gave me fits. This was a couple of Daytonas ago, a couple of years ago. And who came to the rescue?
Shelton
My
Davis.
pops.
All right,
He
man.
reached out. He read through some of the old Shop Dope bulletins, and he figured out my problem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd probably still be trying to figure it out, man. Oh my God, it was try. I was starting to get really pissed off,
Yeah.
and you know, he just said, "Hey, calm down. Let's take a look at this. I think I found your problem." And he showed me, and that is exactly what it was. So it was humbling because, you know, once you've done something a couple times, you think you know it, then you get handed a situation where you don't know it.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, as soon as this show's over, you ought to call him and tell him we all said we love him and we miss him. So
Absolutely.
Hey,
And,
listen. Trust me. He's watching right now somewhere so that he can call Roadside after the show and say,
Tell him what he did
see,
wrong."
See that? Couldn't even be on a show without talking about me.
yeah, right.
Hey, he's still talking about that German TV interview he did back at Bike Week.
Oh
Some
no.
So great.
Some Germans interviewed him there at Tropical in the
Yep.
parking lot. And boy, he was bragging about that. Called his little girlfriend and said, "All them channels you got, you think you got one from Germany? I'm supposed to be on there." And I was like,
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know, Pop. It's going to take a while to get on there.
That's awesome.
Any chance he's coming to North Carolina?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that'd be fantastic.
nice.
Yay.
He
All right.
actually,
My advice- I won't
he's
be
probably
asking
going
about
to make
I'll be
a
asking about how
family
much
trip
chicks.
out of it
Yeah.
somehow or another. But he'll be there. I'm sure he will.
Cool.
For some reason, he likes all you dirt bags.
He says we're your only redeeming quality.
Absolutely. Well, he asked me, he said, how come you got such good friends? And I said, well, I kind of think I'm a good guy too.
Oh shit. All right, man. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for coming in and spending some time with us. Heather has put the links to your Instagrams up, but please send anything along before we get to Salisbury. We'll pass that along. And thanks again.
We'll see you in Sturgis.
Yes.
See you Thursday.
Woohoo.
All right, man.
Love all you guys. Be safe.
Love
See
you
Love you
guys.
too, brother.
Love you, Roadside.
Take care.
See you, Dan.
All right, hey man, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. You're watching Shop Talk. Plenty more to go here. We got lots to get through. If you want to find out more information about what's going on with Dan and Roadside and the rest of the builders of the Legacy Invitational and all of the rest of the events, including dirt drags, tons of bands, 2 or 3 different bike shows, the Strongest Biker World competition, you want to head over to smokeoutrally.com today, get you some information. We're going to take a quick pause to check out a feature bike. When we come back on the other side,
I heard Bert
Mr.
effing Baker
Bert
was in the
effing
house.
Baker right here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Book. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
My name is Bob Giacobbe. I'm out of Clay, New York. It's a 2015 Harley Tri-Glide. I love this song by Aaron Lewis, Am I the Only One? In 2020 when everybody was burning down the cities and nobody was doing anything about it. And in the song he says, we're watching Old Glory come undone. So it's kind of the significance of it. You know, I've got the flag on here. It's getting faded and tattered in the rear. We got the guy fighting for the country, 1776 in the front. In the rear, we got pictures of people, you know, burning the flag and that. And it's just about freedom and about losing our freedom. My dad was a Marine. So, yeah, I've been airbrushing my whole life. Yeah, since probably 1983. I was a painter and a body man for years in the 80s and 90s, and then I got in the insurance business. But now that I'm retired, this is what I do. It's mostly motorcycles that are really what I've done. I mean, I've done a few cars, but nothing crazy. Won a few awards here and there. You know, did a Cholo bike for a woman 2 years ago. I retired a few years ago, and now I just custom paint at home. Everything I've learned, I've taught myself or learned off of a YouTube video, but gold leaf, the stars that look like they're really stitched, and pretty much self-taught. Used to do t-shirts back in the day at all the carnivals and field days and state fairs, but motorcycles is mostly what I do. My name's Bob Giacobbe. I live in Clay, New York. I run a shop called V Graphics Custom Painting, and I am a Dennis Kirk garage builder.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, this is Chris and Heather with Smokeout. Smokeout is going back to Salisbury, the original Rowan County Fairgrounds. The reason why we signed on after 2 decades of this event going on and seeing 2 generations of chopper jockeys come out of it, we wanted to be here for another generation. We're having a thing called the Legacy Invitational. Let's ask some of the Smokeout OGs, guys like Paul Cox, Billy Lane, Jeff Cochran, Steve Broyles, Donnie Luce,
Pat Patterson,
Bill Dodd, to come in and set up. And we've also assigned them the task of inviting a legacy builder, either newer builder or someone that's new to Smokeout, to bring in as their legacy.
From what I understand, the people made this event.
Yeah.
Like, you guys made this event, and that's what we want to bring back.
Smokeout's back. We're going back a few steps. Rowan County Fairgrounds. Tell your friends Smokeout is going back to Salisbury. We'll see you in September of 22.
You better get to work.
Hey, it's Billy from Twisted Tea. We're live in Sturgis, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Hey man, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, and I want to tell you guys the High Seas Rally is back for 2022, and it's badder than ever before. The gang's all going to be there. We got more parties, more music, and more good times than ever, and you're going to be fired up too, because this time, the drink's on us. Go to highseasrally.com today, get in on the action. We're setting sail 2022.
Okay, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk studio, and you are watching Shop Talk. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we go live with 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit, and we're on a Smokeout tear, huh?
There's so much great stuff coming up. Smokeout, Sturgis, High Seas Rally, Lone Star Rally.
Heather's very excited, Mark.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
very excited.
I can tell.
So we were actually working on a schedule. I put a copy of it over there for you
Okay.
on the desk, Mark.
So, question about the schedule, because you and I worked on it together. Did something miraculous happen and days went from 24 to 40 hours? Because there's a lot of stuff on that schedule.
So
Just saying.
there's nothing I can do about that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Let me grab papers here. You keep a copy. I'll keep a copy. So this is smokeout activities. This whole 2 pages.
Can't see. There you go.
1, 2, all of that stuff. And we're trying to figure out how to get it all in.
40 hours. They're 40-hour days.
Did I forget to tell you guys I was busy those?
Yeah, you are busy.
couple days?
You are busy that couple days. You're
You're very
doing a
busy.
little thing called smokeout.
I have a bat mitzvah to go to that.
He's going, what is that, a bris? You're going
Bris,
to a
yeah,
bris.
I'm performing a bris.
Nice. Radar finished the Hokahay challenge. Right on, man.
Oh, radar.
Son of a biscuit eater.
What?
Radar. That's the tank. That's whose tank we
Yes.
have.
You have it ready?
I can go get it?
Go get it. So I'll tell everybody while you get up from your station there. Heather came up with the idea for this thing called Tankful, and it's awesome. At Smokeout, we're doing a thing. There's 20-some of the best painters in the whole motorcycle industry that have signed on to paint a tank shell for the Smokeout Rally for us to raise money for Ed Kerr, one of the founding members of the Hamsters. His personal charity inside the group is called is a charity for Meals on Wheels. We're doing the Tankful with all these artists, 20-some builders or 20-some painters are all getting together and painting these incredible motorcycle tanks. They're wall designs. And once we get the smoke out, everybody's going to have an opportunity to put bids on them. They're going to go to the highest bidder. All of the money is going to go to Meals on Wheels. And I believe Heather has our first Tankful tank right now. So this came in from Radar.
Wow.
That's our first Tankful tank, custom painted by Jim Fletcher himself. And that'll be one of the tanks out of the, I believe there's like 28 of them at this point.
Cool. And obviously he was on the Hokahay.
Yeah, right. you can see a little Hokahay inspiration there.
You can see it.
It's funny because in Heather's office behind there is the painting that Seth did of me on the Hokahay, and then to the left is the Hokahay logo that I painted for Jim Red Cloud. So we're big fans of the Hokahay here.
Big fan.
Yep.
Well, on that note.
Actually, the Hokahay is that painting that's behind me. Your first
Your microphone's not even working. What are you doing to me?
Throw it on the ground real hard. That always works for me.
Throw the mic on the ground. Hold on. I'm stuck.
Okay, so
now?
I see our guest has come in. I still don't
How about
have,
now? You got me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Still don't have Bert's camera, but we do have his microphone. What do you want to do?
Well, we can talk to Bert. I mean, it's
Okay.
more fun to see Bert, but we can talk to Bert. We can show his picture.
All right. Let's go to our next guest who has plenty going on all the time. One of the original arbiters of horsepower, a purveyor of good times and madness, one of the 7 deadly sins himself, Mr. Bert Effin Baker.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Bert, are you with us?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Right on. Well, we have your voice loud and clear. We don't have your picture up, but we're happy to talk to you tonight anyway because you got one of the best events that goes on in Sturgis,
Yes,
dude.
sir.
And we wanted to make sure we got you on here to talk about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this, but I do know that Heather and the Heatherettes are awesome. I do know.
I love you, Bert. Oh, I'm so
Man.
excited for Wednesday in Sturgis.
It's going to be a big deal this year. It's the 7th annual. And, we were, before everything went to hell, maybe in 2019 or 2020, you showed up with the drummer, Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah. That poor bastard, man. That poor bastard.
Oh, you got him to run though, and I think he still has a smile pasted on.
He does, but you know what though? He has a
that.
story to tell.
Yeah.
He has a story, and that's the biggest thing.
I think
feel-
I think he peed himself a little bit that day too.
You know, I say things, you know, and I can't room correctly, you know, and metaphorically speaking, and you know, like so Xavier was sitting on your bike you just put together, right? And you're kind of not in the staging lanes, but before it, and you and or Chris, Heather, and Xavier were there, and I waltzed up and I said, "Hey, are you gonna run, Xavier?" He's like a little kid, you know. He's sitting on the bike, you know, and he's like crouched down, doing the zoomy thing, you know, making zoomy noises, right? And that's, oh man, go step up, man, run. You know, he said, "Bert, I've never done this before." I said, well, then that's more the reason to do it, right? I mean, you know, if you haven't done something, you have to experience it. He said, I don't think so. Maybe another time. I said, what the fuck's the matter with you?
I think you actually called them a vagina, Bert.
I if he had a pussy in his pants, but I might have. And I mean, he listen. He traveled around the world. He's in a big rock band. He's seen everything, you know, and so he stepped up and did it, and I think he had fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he had the time of his life, and he's got the slip to prove it.
See, that's the deal. So there's bar stool drag racers that sit on a bar stool and pontificate about, you know, the drag racing, this and that, right? And then there's people that step out onto the track, because that track is not a track. It is a lie detector test.
Yes, it is. You're damn right.
It sorts out the wheat from the chaff or whatever it is. You know,
separates the men from the boys.
Dude, it's you know, boys, girls, you know, Martians, whatever. You know.
But you know, man, that's why I said at the beginning here. That's why I said that you have one of the greatest events that goes on in Sturgis, because the Sturgis Dragway is legendary. You know what I mean? Like, and to have an opportunity without the tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars of investment to field a real race program, to be able to go there and attend your event and walk away with possibly a picture and definitely a time slip saying that you ran on that historic track.
That's big stuff.
That's really something that you're giving people. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's cool. And you know, and you don't have to set a world speed record or anything. Just being, you know, going through the water box, man, and lighting up your tire, getting it sticky, and then going up to the light, that in itself is pornography, man.
Yeah. It truly is.
So, and then the light drops down, man, and then it's game on, and you know, I mean, it's stupid fun. It's stupid clean fun.
Yep.
And so this year we're like, we're stepping it up. We involved, of course, my good friend Rusty from D&D, who I got together with last year on the event, but this year we got together with Ari and Lionel of Law Tigers. I saw an ad on your program at the intermission, and so before we got involved with them, like Lisa asked me, "Do you want to get involved with these guys?" You know, and I'm thinking, man, I'm the last dude on earth to sell out, man. I mean, you know, I just like to do my own thing. I don't give a fuck. You know, if you like me, fine. If not, there's 7.4999 billion other people in the world you can talk to.
Right.
And so, but I'm telling you, they've really worked hard to blow the event up by involving Tony from Ramjet and Brock from Brock's Performance. And so with their involvement, we're going to be able to offer free food for this event.
That's
Now,
nice.
we're not talking food, we're talking food, you know, and a barbecue guy from Rapid City is going to come in with a food truck or something like that, and so I'm really, really excited about it.
Oh, and man, that's like Law Tiger's obviously one of the sponsors of the show here. They advertise in the magazine. They're also one of the sponsors for our Smokeout event. And the reason why, like you, we don't just grab every deal that comes past us, but at face value, you think, okay, well, it's another motorcycle law group or another motorcycle insurance company or something. But these guys, they do so much. They're so invested in the community and keeping things going in the culture like this. And like you said, those little fine-tune adjustments that they can get involved in and make something better.
They give back.
Yeah,
they give back a lot.
That's a fact, and I will tell you the reason why I told Lisa, let's do the deal, let's get together with them is we ride motorcycles. Motorcycles are dangerous. You die on a motorcycle or get dangerously hurt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's generally not the operator of the motorcycle. Generally, or most of the time, it's some idiot pulling out in front of you.
Right.
Well, I've tried for the last 60 years of my life. I turned 60 earlier this year. Isn't that crazy?
It is, dude.
And so I tried to stay out of courtrooms.
Yeah, as much as possible, right.
This has been one of my endeavors in life, to keep my daughters off the pole and stay. This has been one of my, and the little bit I know about courtrooms is when you have an issue, you're getting arraigned or whatever, you go into a courtroom, you want the biggest, nastiest lawyer, and I hope I didn't say anything wrong there. You want somebody that knows their shit, walks in the courtroom, and then the DA and the assistant DA start shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
Want on your side. You don't want, your local family attorney, the guy with
Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Bob teeth. You don't want him representing you in court. You want somebody with some snot.
Right.
And so that's why we teamed up with Law Tigers. Is if you ride motorcycles and you choose to ignore the legal side of it, you have your head in the sand. You really need to at least know these people. And so I did not get paid one dime for that. That's my personal conviction.
Dude, you summed up two of probably every guy's biggest issues on the planet: staying out of the courtroom and keeping their daughters off the pole. Dude, like, you said it freaking perfectly.
I should have left it at that, and everything I just said for the last 5 minutes.
No, you're 100% correct, though. When you go into a courtroom, you want a shark. You do, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing about them.
If he would have, well, I don't know if that applies. I was just going to say if he would have said, and keep your son off the pipe, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure you want to keep your son off the pipe.
You never know.
So I'm worried about the daughter part.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So Tom Banks says, yes, stay out of courtrooms. David Crum says, give that man an amen.
Can I get an amen?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though. Something about Law Tigers, I mean, they're vested in this community. They're not just attorneys that are waiting for their phone to ring. They're a part of this, and they want you to come and have fun. They want you to know that they have your back if you have an issue, which is fantastic.
There you go. Hopefully you never have a problem.
Right.
And hopefully get together and have some fun, Wednesday night at Sturgis, and then we do the same next year. So we're very much looking forward to it. So do you have any questions for me, Heather?
I wonder, I'm very excited. Somebody asked what your fastest track time was for you personally.
Right. So I did spend a little bit of time on a Top Fuel Harley. I will tell you this, I got inspired to do that because I read 2 articles, and I'll try to boil them down short. Is one article said, it was a semi-fictitious account, they deliver the Top Fuel Harley rider to the starting line. They put his leathers on and then put him on the bike. The bike goes down the track. They meet him at the end of the track. They take his leathers off, put his straitjacket back on, and take him back to the track.
Yep. That's right.
Ooh, I want to do that.
that sounds like me. That sounds perfect.
And then another account was they interviewed Angel. She was a big, as a pro stock drag racer.
Angel Schilling.
Yeah.
Sampy,
I'm sorry.
They interviewed her and they said, if given the chance to ride a John Force car, would you? And she said, absolutely. And then they said, if given the chance to ride a Top Fuel Harley, would you? And she said, hell no. And so I said, oh, that's me. So anyways, I did a 676 at 202, which is I can't describe to you with words how insane that is. Oh. But I will tell you this, is at the 1,000-foot mark, a quarter mile is 1320. At the 1,000-foot mark, the data showed that I backed out of the throttle all the way. And so I just rolled across the finish, the traps. Yeah. So that was a 676 at 202 by backing out of the throttle. My point is I had no idea. This is true. I had no idea if I was at the starting line or in the tomato field. I had no idea, and that's a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I've played around with the organ donor, my green bike, and it was like a mid-9 second at $142, something like that. And so that's the scope of my, I went to the George Price Pro Stock School a couple times, did a high 7. Things start, every time you drop a second, the insanity increases.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. They don't realize the power and the speed, how fast it goes by. I think I actually ran 4 passes on that raceway, and this was in the early 90s on a street legal, the first flash race ever there.
Those were cool, man. Those were way cool.
And we had we won 61 of 62 passes, and I ended up having to do, I did 3 of 4. The 4th one was dead. But my fastest one there was right around you. I think it was 141, just under 10 seconds. And
that's hauling ass.
Yeah, and that was a street legal Sportster. And you can't even imagine how fast it goes by. And you don't even know, like you said, you don't even know where you're at. That because if you don't do it a lot, if you're not I was the mechanic, and the guy that rode it ended up getting hurt, and I had to run it, and it was scary. So it was. I mean, I had done it multiple times, but I think that was the fastest, I had ever gone. The fastest I ever gone on a bike was on Chris's, on the Pearl. But, on a track, dude, you don't know. And like you were saying, you don't know, like you get in the wrong groove and you have no control.
Right.
Like it does it for you.
It's hard to describe to somebody with words, the confusion.
Yeah. Just wow. Like you said, wow. That's pretty much.
Yeah. So, but my, relative to our event at Sturgis, going fast, of course, is a lot of fun, but just the whole experience is really what we want people to enjoy. Yeah. It's free to get in. It's got free food this year, and it's a good time. It starts at 7:00. Okay. And the racing or the sign up starts at 7. The racing starts at 8 and runs to about 11. And we got a bunch of trophies for different stuff. Like Brock is giving out a set of free shots for the fastest 60-foot. No, yeah, the quickest ride in the bagger. There's trophies given out made by Ramjet. I'm not talking trophies like that Trophies R Us. We're talking cool trophies that are reflect our industry. And we're giving out some cash, and it's going to be fun. Come on out and play.
That's awesome.
I
Chris,
just
can we go?
realized. Yes, absolutely.
Please,
absolutely.
You can't
it's so
ride
much-
the
there's so much.
FXR.
I
but
absolutely am going to ride the FXR
You
there.
can't. It's
I
not
am.
yours.
I don't listen.
Don't tell anyone.
I built this son of a bitch. I'm going
But
to run
we
it
have
once.
to give it away. We have to give it away on Friday in one piece.
That's okay.
And with a running motor.
A little duct tape.
So
The marital debate is interesting.
So Bert, I just realized that on your flyer, it's actually a character of Jay Allen.
It is.
That's so
It is.
cool.
That's awesome.
yeah.
We love Jay. We love Jay.
Yes, sir.
Bonneville stuff. I mean, I don't want to go to Bonneville ever because I understand that it is a wicked drug.
Oh,
if
dude.
you go to Bonneville, you must return every year like some kind of butterfly from Guatemala. You know? And so, but about that, tell me about the burnout, the Baker burnout thing that we're putting on.
Yeah, so your big event is Wednesday, and you kind of have like a little warm-up event with us on Tuesday night at the Iron Horse.
I look forward to that.
Yeah,
really,
Baker Burnout Drags. That's 8
Hey, I have
o'clock at the Iron Horse?
I have a little video.
Okay.
We forgot until we put this thing together how much fun we have at this thing.
God, they're nuts.
Let's check this out real quick.
You know, and I'm a little bit mad right now because that video doesn't really do it justice. The event has so much energy.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you get the idea from the video, but the amount of energy and adrenaline and dopamine and all those things, man,
It's great because it's funny to see like people start out, you know, so meek and they're
like,
timid,
oh.
like I don't know if I want to do a burnout, and then by the end, you know, they're like half naked and screaming, lighting shit on fire.
Bert, I don't know if you know him personally, but in that video is Ari from Law Tigers.
Yeah.
And he didn't really know what he was doing when he first started. And I'll tell you what, we learned very quickly this year that dude is a rider and a half. Stone cold. But he had never done the burnout drags. But he nailed it. He killed it, and he kept coming back for more. And that was the sweepstakes bike he gave away last year.
But Bert, listen, I got to tell you, like seriously. So we did the FXR Friends Throwdown deal with all of those guys. So we went out to Arizona, and we rode from Winslow through the whole canyons down to the Scottsdale, right?
Gorgeous.
When we got to the lunch stop about halfway, I literally went up to Ari and I said, "Hey man, who's riding your motorcycle?" Because he had one of the guys build a bike for him.
Yeah.
And he started out with us, but then when we were in the turns, someone on Ari's motorcycle and Nick Trask took off, and they were riding at an obscene pace. So when we got to the lunch stop, I was like, "Hey, who you letting ride your motorcycle?" He said, "I was riding it." I said, "No, you weren't." Because he was killing it.
He was getting it.
We do it all the time. I'm trying as I get older not to do it, but you know, when you meet somebody, you judge them.
Yeah.
Right?
You put them in a box.
Yep.
And it's so wrong to do that because you're setting yourself up, man, in a bad way, you know. And so, I mean, Ari, if you meet him on the street, you know, he looks, you know, like he rents party supplies. Oh, I'm having a graduation. I need to rent a tent, sir. And oh, my name's Ari. I can help you. Out of all the sponsorship. So, anyways, but that's me.
Yeah.
No, you know what? He's such a good shit. And I'll tell you what, if he can survive the ball busting that Paul Yaffe hands him constantly, he'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, and like.
Cool. I don't know the man well yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be able to hang with these guys, like Chris, and even Ari's dad. Like, we met Ari's dad last year. Ari's dad is the
His
man.
mom is a ball buster.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're the coolest
That's
people.
great.
Like,
yeah, we had a kid with us that was telling jokes on the bus. We were all riding a bus to a big dinner somewhere, and there's Ari's dad. Like, I got to tell you, he walks in like a straight up gangster.
Oh yeah.
My man comes out to a formal event with slippers on, but when you look down at them, they were diamond crusted Gucci symbols. They were like $6,000 slippers,
and you're
everybody's
like, dude can wear the slippers.
yeah, he can wear the slippers wherever he wants.
He's not playing no games.
But we're riding to an event, and my buddy's telling these stories, and he's got the whole
He's a
bus
comedian.
now.
He's a legit comedian.
So he's talking about Chick-fil-A being Jesus chicken. That's what he calls it.
This is not our opinion. These are not opinions expressed by
this
Source
is
Media or
what-
Cycle Sports.
This is what my buddy's saying, that it's a religious cult. He calls it Jesus chicken. Ari's mother stands up at the front of the bus with a stone cold face. She turns around and says, my brother owns Chick-fil-A, and I don't appreciate your slanderous words, and like lectures them. The entire, like, we all sunk down below the seats. We're like,
and his wife is trying to kick him out of the seat. And now, mind you, if anybody on this bus you would believe that from, it's this woman,
because she's very,
so well
very
put together,
yeah.
beautiful, and carries herself well.
3 of the most uncomfortable quiet seconds goes by, and she goes, gotcha.
So Ari's screwed, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's his mother and father are both just playing.
Oh, totally.
It was the best.
So funny.
So you will, when you get to spend more time with Ari, because I'm sure he'll run his bike on the track, because Ari likes to go fast.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a new FXR.
I so look forward to that.
You'll
I guess
enjoy it.
our people are coming out to play.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of FXRs will be showing. So, Heather, can I touch your hair?
You want to touch my hair? Is that what
Surgeon,
you
touch
can,
your hair.
as long as Lisa doesn't mind.
I
don't
will
let
get
everybody do that, but you can.
I'll get approval from Chris, but I just want to touch your hair.
Okay. I have I mean, I was born with it. I don't get it, but it's really quite strange how many people ask me if they can do that.
Dude, are you serious? That's terrible.
It's weird. Like in the grocery store,
That's
people
cool. It's
will
cool.
ask
Oh,
me if they
she
can
got the
touch
good
my
hair. She got the good
You
hair.
need to start charging for that.
No, that's weird.
Little side gig going on.
Oh my God.
I love you, Bert.
Well, I gotta say, with the Baker drags and stuff, and the burnout pit and stuff, the energy that these things bring to the table doesn't hold a freaking stitch to the energy you bring to an event.
Oh my God.
You have to be one of my favorite Grease and Gears interview was just like, I think the 3 of us on the stage in Sturgis. And dude, we laughed. You are so much fun. You're such a wealth of knowledge, yet you make everybody comfortable and you bring so much to the table.
I like my job, man. I like what I do, and
it's obvious.
And it's if you are part of the motorcycle community, or you go to Sturgis or whatever, and you're not, if during that period of the event you're anything but great, just sell your motorcycle, get a pair of golf clubs, or
and get the hell out.
Because the passion and the energy. I was listening to the builder before you,
Dan Starkey,
and then Roadside Marty was talking about somebody building a bike for a whole year to attend the Willie show or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the amount of commitment that this satanic cult we call motorcycle. That's what does, and it's fun, man. It's fun. I have a lot of fun, and I like to see people have fun.
It's obvious. You make it obvious, and you make people have fun. You're infectious when it comes to that.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead, Bert, I'm sorry.
Well, on top of that.
Yeah, but it's like, it's silly, like that. The touching the hair stuff is, if I were to go to the local Christian Science reading room and ask the lady behind the counter to touch her hair,
she'd call the cops on you.
Ari, right?
Yeah.
I would because I would be in the courtroom. But, I mean, of course I'm not serious, but it's fun to screw around and be silly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, sure.
And I think that's the greatest part of these events is you're helping people make memories that they will take to their children and their grandchildren.
Because that's the important
and you're
part,
giving
right?
them the experience. That's
the
the most
important part.
amazing thing that you can do for somebody.
I appreciate that, and I'm just giving back, and I like what I do, and I like yeah.
So let's talk about the other side of that, because that's what really rounds this out. Your career, you started working for one of the big automakers and brought your knowledge and your technology into the motorcycle scene, and you've created some of the most amazing products, some of the most innovative stuff that even a lot of people would have to argue even the factory has followed in lockstep with a lot of the stuff that you've done over the years.
I like Harley. They give me my canvas on which I paint.
Yeah.
They give all of us. We owe everything to Mother Harley. We really do. We this whole scene, this whole opium den would not exist.
Yeah, the mothership.
Amen.
Yeah,
the mothership,
right.
and so a lot of people, motherfuck them and stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, okay, you go buy a whatever, an XYZ Chinese motorcycle and see, how much fun you have.
Right.
You don't. What were we talking about? We were going somewhere else.
I agree with you up until the point that I am, in fact, looking forward to an opportunity of buying that new Chinese Sportster. Because if I get that shit cheap enough, I'm going to be building Sportster choppers for days.
No, but what he's saying is to all those people, F the factory, there wouldn't be any of this without the factory.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's just a fact, and so I'm sorry, having amnesia. Where were we going on?
Where we were going, though, is even though we're all very thankful for everything that Harley's laid down over the years, it's you can't argue that, like, the N1 drum, the 6 and the 4 transmission, the grudge box is like your technology, because you understand what it is that we all want to do with that end product, and a lot of times because it's what you're doing with it. Yeah, you've taken that product and you've made it fit to our use a little bit better.
Listen, I'm not the sharpest tool in this shed, but I do possess a quality that most people do not have, and that quality is I'm stupid. If I would have really considered all of the pitfalls and the turmoil of being in business and stuff, I probably wouldn't have done it. But you know what? I have no regrets, man. I mean,
Amen.
It's a lot of fun, if Harley transmission with 1 N 2-3 shift pattern, I want to make one with new. I blame it on the British. I don't know who decided to stick neutral in between first and second. I was around one day and I got pissed, and I thought, well, let's just put it down here, and so I like my job, and I love Harley, and I love this whole scene, man. I mean, I'm not going to retire ever. My daughter, who figured out how to turn on this Zoom stuff that we're doing right now that's not working, and or my wife or some employee is going to find me humped over a bench dead someday.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yeah.
I will have died happy.
You're right.
Amen.
Yep.
what are you going to do? Sit around, and, in your lazy boy, and that's not fun.
No, and you're an innovator. You've helped. Your product is really helped others. With whatever it would be, drag racing, entertainment, just their life in general. Everybody loves what you do, and then again, once they get to meet you, you are one of the funnest people to be in a conversation with. It's crazy.
Stop it. You're out of your mind.
No, that's it. We're all out of our mind. I think that's why we all get along so well.
But one thing that's interesting to me right now is my daughter Michelle and our guy Scott went out to Born Free to that show, right? And there's the new younger generation of builders they're amazing. They're amazing, and I just love the talent and they're so true. Chris, you know this. They're so true to the church of bike building, and they're people I don't know yet. I mean, they're like, like I had 4 kids before they were born, and but I have a lot of respect for them, and this whole crazy culture goes on, man. It keeps going. So excited.
That's really the great thing too, because even though I can say that, like you remember when Mark and I and a bunch of the guys ushered in the whole thing with Limp Nicky Lot.
Absolutely.
But
that was a big deal.
Even though that was cool, a lot of us were just taking identical styling cues from the 60s and 70s. Right. What's really starting to happen that I find interesting, when you go to something like Born Free now and you see, undeniably the tried and true original chopper movement is alive and well there. You see the FXR thing, the performance stuff. Like there's such a blend now. There's way less boundaries than there used to be. Like
the artistry that goes into it's off the charts.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like the platforms, you don't hear, well, you can't not this and you can't do it with that. And these things aren't part of what we do, I like that part of the custom scene today.
That is wide open.
Yep.
It's just wide open. I love that too, man. I hate boundaries. I hate rules. I hate regulations. And so I'm digging this is, after we got COVID behind us and, lost puppy and, God rest his soul and all that stuff. And it's bigger and crazier than ever. This whole scene's insane. I love it. It's intoxicating.
So Bert, do you mind if I almost never ask you to do?
Do you want to touch me?
No, worse than that. I want to ask you about something. I want to ask you about something seriously for a minute.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
So, all the news for the last few weeks has been the FTC's new adaptation of the very old rule of the Magnuson Moss Act, and everyone's talking about. Well, today we saw come out in a report from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and they said that the FTC has finally started levying fines for Harley Davidson. Now, a lot of us are talking back and forth about, these rulings exist, the laws are actually there, but what it actually means is kind of a gray area. You know what I mean? Because obviously, taking the experiences that we've had in pickup trucks or cars or anything else, there's a limit to what you can do to stock equipment before it's gonna void the warranty. But what do you see as the biggest takeaway from this right now? As someone as deep as you are in this industry, I'm hoping to gain additional insight with that.
Okay, this I don't know about this news report. I don't.
Okay.
I'm dead serious when I live in a vacuum. Watch news. I don't have social media on my phone or an account, and I don't do any of it. But you're talking about the fact that if you change your light bulb to an LED on your brand new Harley and that it void your warranty. Is that?
Well, here's the deal. Let me get you up to speed real quick. So forever ago, back in the 70s, or even before that, I forget the original filing date on that writ, but they passed a thing called the Magnuson-Moss Act, which provided the fact that anyone could repair your factory equipment. It didn't have to be repaired at the factory or with certified factory parts, as long as they were equivalent quality to what the factory would be. And that was forever ago. Well, all these years forward, Harley Davidson and was it General Electric or Westinghouse, Heather? Westinghouse have both been cited by the Federal Trade Commission for violations of this, and the Federal Trade Commission came out and demanded that they provide a more fair playing field in their verbiage, a lot of the treatment of the customers and everything. So immediately you get tons of people from the aftermarket world who jump up and they're like, great, we're all getting cams installed. And that's not exactly what that means, because just like the auto industry and everything else, the words there, direct factory replacement, still apply.
Sure.
And I was wondering, as it applies to Drivetrain, if that's something, that's conversations that you're starting to have.
And they're not. That's it's premature, and I will defer you to talk to my attorney Ari. I love Harley Davidson, and I'm not.
No. Listen, we love Harley Davidson too. This is big news, and at a time where we don't really need anything to make motorcycling harder. That's for sure.
I completely agree with you, and in Europe they have this thing. Like, you can't even change the exhaust.
Yeah, baby. The TUV.
Yep.
The TUV thing, and you have to get these inspections and stuff.
Yep.
And we do have it really good in this country. We people need to know that. If you were to buy a new Harley in Germany and put an aftermarket exhaust on it right down the road, they would think you're insane, because you don't do that. You don't modify your exhaust system over in Germany. And to you and I, this is insane. I mean, we have it so good in this country, and I don't know. I'm not really speaking on point. So.
Yeah, we definitely do. So, and
right.
I think in some places in India, you can go to jail for modifying a bike, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you're not permitted to do it, and if you do get caught, I mean, you get hauled away. That's crazy.
Right. I mean, you can. Yeah. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, it's nuts.
We have a lot of freedoms in this country.
We do.
I want to take this moment to talk a little bit about politics, and what I want to say is, and I don't generally talk about politics or transmission oil preference, or religion. I don't talk about these three subjects at shows and stuff, but I want to talk about politics by saying, I think Jody Pirwitz should run for president. and I really feel it's time for a change.
It's time for a big change, yes.
This is something that's been on my mind. I don't know who were VPs.
That's what I was just going to say. Who's going to be the vice president?
Tom Banks.
Yeah, possibly.
Tom Banks.
Brian Clock's pretty polished. He
yeah.
would be a good one.
I could see Brian.
Polished.
I could.
Jody, who doesn't like Jody Pirwitz?
What's
name one? Right. I mean,
what's the position in the president's cabinet that's like he's the boss of the whole cabinet?
Chief of staff.
I could see Brian Clock being chief of staff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, we need to.
He would kill it. So I'm very excited about nominating Jody Pirwitz for 2022. I hope everybody will get behind it and support her. And I'm gonna keep this thing going, man. Just
we
watch
could
out.
go from one extreme to the other, and like Roadside would be a great vice president.
Oh my God!
Oh, stop it now! Now we are.
Can
good.
you
Roadside
imagine?
Marty, the mouth of the South.
Oh,
is
dude,
just,
that would be.
I mean,
you think
that's quite a dream team, man.
You
That's
think
good.
you think the news is filled with horse
my
shit
God.
now? Can you imagine? Can you imagine some of the stuff he'd be trying to
that'd
get
be
away with?
So awesome.
I love it.
My fellow Americans, it's Free Part Friday.
Camping on the White House lawn.
Taxes are now paid with knuckleheads.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Oh my
That's right.
God, Steve Burrows has it perfect. Roadside Marty should be Speaker of the House.
Oh my God! Can you imagine in those chairs up front where they sit, man, all like exalted and shit, you know? And
great.
Roadside Marty would be sitting there with like a bologna sandwich in his mouth and shit, you know? And yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, working on a carburetor.
Yeah. Right. Have a carburetor on the table in front of him, and so it's something interesting to consider.
Oh God, that's funny.
All right, Bert. Well, listen, man. Thank you
man.
you so much for being here with us,
Thank you
and
for
for
all
what
of
you do for all of us in Sturgis and the inspiration.
No, what you do for us, man. You and Heather are like just. I mean, you guys are vampires. I'm convinced because you don't sleep. You don't sleep, right? Right, Mark?
Yo, I you don't have to tell me.
Dude, they're fucking possessed.
I know.
And
I
they
try
live and breathe this stuff, and I've never met anybody other than you two that you two embrace new technology, like all of this. I don't know. They got Facebook now or something like that. Or I'm still waiting for somebody to send me, like the AOL online. Anyway, so you embrace all this shit to the betterment of for all of us. I mean, you do, you do, and propagating this thing we call motorcycles. So, God bless all three of you, and have a good evening, man.
Always a pleasure, Bert.
We'll see you in
Bert.
South
All right,
Dakota.
we'll see you soon. We'll see you out west, kids. All right, bye.
All right, hey man, you are watching Shop Talk on one of the
His wife is a saint.
on one of the best nights that we've had in quite a while.
He is definitely one of my favorite
Oh
people.
my God.
His
He's
energy is nuts.
What do you mean his wife is a saint? She's lucky to be with such a magnanimous personality.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, dude, to reel him in, sometimes just you got to give her all the credit in the world.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
not even close. Not even close,
bud.
Bud.
Not even close, bud. Eat my short.
His energy is almost infectious.
It is.
So, like,
It
you
is.
can't help but just be like, and excited and laugh.
And you know he pulled up the one picture of the burnout pit. And he's standing there and he's so serious.
Oh yeah, he's assessing the situation.
Yeah, he's like,
but that seriousness lasted about the length of the click of that
yeah,
shutter.
exactly. Yeah, where's that picture at? That is a great picture of him because it like seriously, as soon as the motors shut down, he lights up. And,
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great shot of him. Yeah, one of my favorite interviews on Greasing Gears Garage was him. We had such
just
a
every
blast.
time, way early on, Bert's been a supporter forever.
Yeah.
And like that, the very nice words that he said about how we've adapted the technology. I can remember getting my very first GoPro camera, and I was so happy to go up to his shop, and I was like, Bert, I want to do this whole thing. I want you to tell the story of Baker Drivetrain, and we're doing all this Buy America stuff because at the time, Buy America was very black and white. There wasn't as many shades of gray. It wasn't how much a percentage of each thing was made wherever. But we did this great interview, and like it's still to this day clocking views on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And you think about that, like at that time, there was almost no one doing shit digital then. There wasn't social media hardly at all at the time, like it is today. It rules the airwaves today, but
it's sort of funny because you think back, we've been talking about doing what we're doing right now or with the GoPros, filming ourselves all the time for 25 years, have we not? I mean, as long as I can remember, we had always said, you know, we should have somebody chase us around with a camera because people really don't believe half the crap we tell them actually happened. So it's like
the worst part is we usually forget to turn it on.
Oh, right, or take the lens cap off.
You're like, damn it!
Yeah.
Did
That was
anybody
good
catch
stuff.
that?
Yeah, you get the audio, but you don't get the video.
Hey, so we should remind everybody real quick that to follow more along for Bert and everything that they're doing over at Baker Drivetrain, you can hit them up on Facebook, Baker Drivetrain. You can also follow along on Instagram, Bert and his exploits over at Baker Drivetrain. Heather will put those links up for you. We got some stuff to get to right now, though. I am going to ask Heather to take off her co-producer hat and put on her news hat, and let's go take a look at the events. Here we go.
The Shop Talk events calendar is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the original hard iced tea that helps you keep it twisted.
Keep it twisted, Heather. Here we go.
Wow.
You're not even starting in the right spot, dude.
It's a thought to kind of
Like, seriously?
pretend a lot.
I was looking at some of the
have 'em
events
in
myself.
chronological
I was
order for a
kind of excited.
reason.
I was kind of excited.
Well, shame on you for actually putting it in order and having him supposed to be
Right?
following it. I mean,
Hey,
did you just need him?
Pay attention.
All right. Next up on the schedule, Fuel Cleveland at Hale Farm in Ohio, July 30th, 2022. Fuel, always a great time. This year promises to be even bigger and better. For more information, go to fuelcleveland.com.
Groovy.
Oh, that's creepy groovy.
That was a little weird.
Strange. Our first official event of Sturgis, Cycle Source Custom Ride and Bike Show, 16th annual, as a matter of fact. 27 classes, free to enter. Best of show wins a Paco rolling chassis, a buttload of other prizes, and we hope to see you there.
She said butt.
She said butt.
I said butt. Vintage Day, moving on. Monday, August 8th, again at the Iron Horse Saloon, we celebrate all AMCA card holders. Bring your vintage bike right into the Iron Horse Saloon. We'll give you a lunch, a souvenir poster, and a couple other cool things. Old time field games will take place in the afternoon with kickstart, pin drop, slow race, weenie bike, and the plank ride. That's always a good time. Poppy Show, Old School Chopper Show at the Full Throttle Saloon. That's also Monday, August 8th. So if you have a cool old chopper, or not old chopper, cool chopper, head on over there. Poppy will take good care of you. All entrants get
an amen?
Amen. All entrants get a free t-shirt. Next. Again, the same day, our good buddy John over at Hardcore Cycles Performance Show and Skinny Tiger Bagger Build Off at the Crossroads at the Buffalo Chip. Tuesday, August 9th, the original Performance Bike Show with Little Evil Incorporated at the Steel Pony. Registration starts at 10, awards at 3. You can find more information at ihssturgis.com or steelpony.com.
Booyah!
Tuesday, August 9th, Sportster Showdown at Camp Zero. I think a little birdie told me Chris is going to be running dirt drags over there, maybe?
Booyah!
Tuesday night, Sturgis Baker Burnout Drags at the Iron Horse Saloon. Racing starts at 8 o'clock. Heads up, bracket racing, cash, trophies, all that good stuff. But most importantly, Bert Baker himself will be on site hosting those festivities along with Christopher. Our 16th annual Run to the Line, come ride with Cycle Source and friends, and Michael Lichter, the legendary Michael Lichter, will be shooting riders as we roll through Van Acker Canyon towards the Nemo Guest Ranch, where we have lunch and ice cream.
Where we do a free sack lunch.
Free sack lunch.
In the traditions.
Yeah, we started that a few years ago, and that's I think probably my favorite part of the day. I mean, I love the ride, but I love handing out lunches to people.
Dude,
They
everybody's
get
like
so
little
excited.
kids. Yep. It's so cool.
We need juice boxes.
Oh, I
Yep.
can get juice boxes.
Groovy.
creepy groovy.
Wow.
Thursday night poolside at the Steel Pony, Black Hills Boogie, Chopper Show, and Disco Party. Get your groove on. Chris has his bell bottoms and platform shoes all shined up and ready to go. I will be in gold.
Oh, I wish I had a sound effect for the Olympics. Mark, dude. Da, 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 da.
Booyah!
Wow.
So bad. Friday, August 12th, our last official event of Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is the Biker Olympics at the Iron Horse Saloon. There's going to be slow race, keg roll, spoon race, waitress, weenie bite, and mini bike drag racing.
But this year, not only are we doing a championship belt, everyone gets medals, Mark.
Wow.
Everyone gets medals.
Participation trophy?
Not participation.
No.
You have to win some shit.
Oh, I thought you meant like everyone gets a medal.
No.
All winners get a medal.
Everybody thinks you're
Got ya.
creepy with groovy, just so you know.
Loser.
It is a bit creepy.
It's very
I'm
creepy.
sitting right next
I'm
to him,
creepy.
so-
Haas is riding a mini bike. I'm creepy. Okay.
The groovy is creepy.
Yeah, it's sort
So,
of.
hey, Crazy Chuck, Moonshiner, Crazy Chuck's in the house. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, the 70s were weird, man. That
Yeah.
shit's don't
Yes,
hang it
they
on
were.
me. Don't
Poppy just put in his order for ham and cheese. Poppy, you get what you get.
Oh,
Maybe it's
boy.
going to be peanut butter and
Good
jelly.
times. Dynamite.
Oh, my God. Kiwi Mike is here.
I know, right?
Wow.
Kiwi. I guess I got to do my job.
Yeah, here you go.
Good Times Motorcycle Show,
Well,
August
welcome back.
25th through 27th at Griffin Hines Farm. That's in Ohio, too.
Yeah, we're talking about running out to that, so we'll probably see you guys there.
Yeah, that's like 2 days before Smokeout.
Well,
Are you gonna
it's
time
2
warp?
days.
Oh, anyway, so that's put on by Chop Machine Cycles and Lead Sled, I believe. So that's definitely going to be a good time. And that's a precursor to Smokeout.
Hey, you know that thing they say about got to make hay while the sun's shining? You got to smoke pot while the man's on the other side of town.
That's right. Pop, pass.
I wish you guys
did we
could see
lose?
my face right now.
There you go.
Oh, I can see it.
Are you disgusted?
Slightly.
Radar, you
Was
can do it.
Was it the puff pass? No.
Just
Okay, smoke out.
Smokeout. Smokeoutrally.com. You're not going to want to miss it. Chopper Time, October 13th.
Oh, my
the
God.
greatest chopper show on earth. That's at Willie's Tropical Tattoo. If you don't know about it, you live under a rock. And the High Seas Rally, October 29th through November 6th. You can cruise with Chris and friends. Just saying.
That's right.
And during that same time, you can come see me at Lone Star Rally. Chopper Fest.
Chopper Fest is back, dude.
December 11th
Thank
at
God.
Ventura County Fairgrounds. I heard there's a rumor we might be going. Maybe?
I hope so. I love me some Chopper Fest, boy.
I've never been. I haven't been to Chopper Fest.
I just have really good memories from it. I really
Will
do.
you bring art?
If they'll have me, I will. Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, man, we're getting a little long in the tooth, and we're
Holy gamoly, it's
I know.
almost 2 hours,
all of us
dude.
are full of shit anyway, so
Yeah, your eyes are kind of brown tonight.
we're going to save you guys some of the pain of going along with us for another mind-blowing half hour of bullshit that we rabble on about. And we'll hold that till next week when we come back for some more Shop Talk.
Can't wait.
Until next time, when we gather together all the little scraps and pieces that we can to provide you with 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can
That
fit.
was a lot of that tonight.
Yeah.
Same chopper time.
Same Chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh, God, I love Bert.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycle, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke
One quick
Saloon,
shout out to Mike Yorko.
Twisted
Good to
Tea,
see you on here,
the
dude.
Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectra Oil, No School Choppers,